Hi guys, it's Emil. Welcome to FTM Transtastic. This week's topic is personal victories. Personal victories can be big things and small things. They can be everything from achieving your biggest dream to just getting up on time in the morning, or for some people, just getting up at all. And I think it's very important to celebrate personal victories and to celebrate even, or perhaps especially, small personal victories, because a victory is a victory, whether it's big or small. And if you have overcome something in your personal life that made your life worse or not as good, or something that made you sad or uncomfortable, or maybe you've overcome guilt or anxiety in some way, even if it's just a really small thing, I think it's something that we need to celebrate. I definitely have had instances where I have won some type of personal victory or taken a step in the right direction, and I've just been like, oh, it's just such a small thing, it doesn't need to be celebrated, it wasn't big enough, it wasn't enough. But if it's good for me, then it deserves to be celebrated. That doesn't mean you have to throw a party or whatever. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy yourself a cake. It can be as small as just sitting down and patting yourself on the shoulder, no matter how corny that may feel, and just say, you did good. Or just taking a moment to reflect on what you've done, and maybe, I don't know, make a post on Tumblr saying, I'm happy that I did this today, yay me. That's not selfish, it's not bad, it's totally okay to do that, and it's very important to do that. If you went to school or work on a day when you were really tired and anxious and you had no motivation whatsoever, or you went into this test that you were dreading and you did your very best, and maybe it felt like it didn't even go that well, but you did it even though it was scary, or you didn't have any motivation to do it, or whatever. Just these small personal victories are really, really important. And I feel like for me, the more I have started to celebrate personal victories, especially the small ones, the more capable I have become of trying to work towards the bigger goals that I have. And I just all around feel better. It was a personal victory for me when I was able to modify my relationship with food and the way that I ate, so that eating for me didn't become something that had to do with anxiety or guilt. And that led me to, even further personal victories, to the point where I can now say, hey, I want to modify my diet in this way to achieve this type of goal, and I don't feel anxious if I break that someday because I need to, or because I'm just too tired. I don't feel anxious about it, I don't feel guilt. That's a huge personal victory for me, and I definitely need to just sit down and recognize that and just be like, hey, I did this thing and it was really good. Because when you recognize it, when you take a moment to recognize that, however small the moment may be, eventually you internalize this. You internalize, I think, that you can do things that you set your mind to. You internalize that you can win these things, you can do these things, you can decide on something, and you can follow through. And so in the future, when you stand before something that maybe you're afraid of, maybe you're hesitating, maybe you don't know if you can do it, or maybe you don't have any motivation, then I think you don't even need to consciously think about all the times that you have succeeded. You have internalized it because you've taken the moment to recognize what you've done. So you've internalized it, and so that's sort of just already inside of you. It sort of lives inside you now, that this knowledge that you can actually follow through with things, and you can succeed, and you can do things even when you feel like maybe you can't, or when you're afraid, whatever. So yeah, I guess that's my message for this week. Just recognize your personal victories, even the really, really small ones, even the tiniest ones. I don't care. I want you to today, or this whole week, but if that's all you can do, then just today, or even if this is really tough for you, then just do it for the next hour. Recognize what you are doing that's good for you. If you're getting a glass of water, pat yourself on the arm and be like, well done. It might feel corny, or you might feel a little bit of warmth starting to spread in your chest because it feels good. It does, and it's supposed to feel good. Even things that aren't tough for you, you can recognize that you are doing these things that are good for you. It can be anything. Getting food, getting water, staying 1 hour less on the computer in the evening so that you can get up earlier and more easily in the morning, going to school on a day when you really don't feel like it, or if you are someone who pushes yourself to do things that you really don't feel good doing, like maybe you go to school even when you're sick or when you are really mentally drained, then maybe staying at home and taking a self-care day is the personal victory that you need to celebrate. It's not going to change anything if you just do it once, I don't think. But if you do it continuously, that's when you start to internalize it, and that's when it starts to make a change in your life. At least that's my experience. I hope you all have a good day and week and so forth, and I will see you next week. Love you guys. Bye.